Hello and welcome to this bonus episode of Weight Loss 360 with Boots Online Doctor. This is a place where our experts get myth-busting and answer the question everybody wants to know. I'm Helen Thorne, comedian and podcaster, and today we're joined by GP David Gwynne, an expert in men's health and weight loss, and he's going to talk to us about weight loss and our sex lives. Ooh, I know, very mature. That was a very mature way to start this. Look, it's all part of being a grown-up, people. Now, I can attest to having more energy and more confidence, and it gives you that sparkle in all aspects of your life. But today we're focusing on the male experience, and specifically, can losing weight help with issues like erectile dysfunction? David, take it away.
Thanks, Helen, and I think you've set that up nicely in the right tone today.
Sorry, do you want me to do more? Because I'm a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah. So Helen, it's a great topic, and one I think probably doesn't quite get the attention that it deserves. I think men tend to get less attention in this space than women do when talking about their sort of personal lives and perhaps their sexual lives. And I think men don't particularly like talking about this very much either. So we've got a few minutes here today to really get into this, and so they can't escape. And any women in their car with their husbands right now, they lock the doors and they can't escape.
It's going to be an awkward drive to Tesco's, David.
So I think we want to take a holistic approach to this today. I want to look at the personal side of it, the emotional side of it. I want to look at the metabolic or the sort of biochemistry and the sort of what's going on inside the engine side of it. And then I want to look at the sort of lifestyle side of it, the other side as well, because I think it affects men in 360 all the way around with these things. Let's look at weight loss then, and let's look at how weight affects men then, and their sex lives particularly. So we know from research and several studies that have been done on this that men with obesity or overweight do tend to have poorer sexual satisfaction, poorer libido, and problems with things like erectile dysfunction or inability to get an erection, to be a bit more honest about it. But I think we need to understand why that might be the case, to understand why losing weight can be of benefit. So the first thing, Helen, I'm going to talk about is I think we need to understand what an erection actually is. If we're going to talk about erectile dysfunction, mature, right? You are right, and I'm trying to avoid eye contact because you're going to make me laugh.
I know.
But let's be sensible here. Okay, so I want to talk about erectile dysfunction. So let's talk about what it is.
The science
let's talk
of
about
an
the
erection.
Science.
Okay.
So without being too graphic, I want you to think about a circus balloon. You know the ones where they tie into little animals? So erections are about how to inflate that balloon. When you get sexually stimulated as a male, you've got valves at the base of your penis. One to allow blood to flow in, and the other one stops blood flowing out. So when you're sexually stimulated, that tap opens up to let blood flow in, and the other one closes down, and the balloon inflates. Simple as that. There's no bone involved, right? There's no bone involved before we go any further on that, okay? So now that we understand that, losing weight's important because it improves your cardiovascular health. That's why it's important. So by improving your cardiovascular health, you're going to improve your blood flow. Improved blood flow equals more blood flow. You're going to get more blood flowing into your penis, or you're going to get a better erection. Okay. But there's a hormonal side to this as well. So obesity, or fat tissue more specifically, is a really important hormone store or hormone generator, but it's an estrogen hormone stimulator, which is the feminizing hormone or a female hormone. We all know that men's libido tends to be related to testosterone, but the physical act of having obesity and that fat storage tends to reduce the amount of testosterone in your system and increase the amount of estrogen, which tends to lower your libido. And central obesity, or tummy fat, tends to make that even worse. Okay. That's to be a really potent anti-testosterone fat storage area. Okay, so it's a real problem for men. It can massively influence your interest in sex, your relationship with your partner for that. That's why weight loss can be important, because reducing that abdominal fat can improve your testosterone, which leads to a more satisfying sex life and a better libido. There's obviously some psychological improvements here as well from body image perspective, right? I mean, look, all men look in the mirror and think, what an animal. But the reality is deep down somewhere, most men are a little bit insecure about all sorts of things. And I think that improvement in weight loss just helps a bit with self-esteem, which can help with relationships and sexual function that way as well.
Yeah, and you're right. It's down to confidence, having the energy, all those sort of things. And that, as you say, is that whole 360 perspective, is that when you feel good in yourself, you want to share your body with someone you love.
There's the other part of it as well. Of course, part of a weight loss journey, as we all know, is to do with increased exercise and getting more mobility in your life. And of course, once you feel fitter, you could be, shall we say, more vigorous, Helen? Is that fair to say?
That's a great word.
Yeah. So all these things come together, right? So to just improve people's outcomes with losing weight. And so it's important from all these aspects that come together to have that improved outcome for men.
And can I quickly touch on women, because I know, and I'm not going to be too personal, that just feeling healthier and having a bit of confidence in your body and having that energy, losing a bit of weight definitely gave me more confidence in all aspects of my life and gave me more energy. And I think, especially after having children, for both men and women, that can be a big stumbling block, that you feel, you don't have energy, you're tired, all that sort of thing. And having a little bit of a change can reinvigorate the sex life quite a lot.
So there's various other things that men can do as well. I think diet's quite important to this as well. So let's think about what we can do. So a low GI diet, a glycemic index diet, we've all heard of, okay?
Yeah.
So just to recap on that, a low glycemic index diet is one with low refined carbohydrates, which doesn't cause much of an insulin spike. I think listeners to this podcast are quite familiar now with the insulin spike. We've talked about it in a few episodes, I think, and how that can encourage fat deposition. So avoiding that high insulin spike by avoiding lots of carbohydrates is important here, okay? But there's other interesting research out there as well. Foods that are rich in arginine. So arginine, have you heard of arginine?
No. Tell me, David.
Why not, Helen? Why not?
Is it an island?
So arginine is an amino acid, basically.
Okay.
And it's a building block for protein. And this building block can really be quite influential when trying to lose weight. It's also a building block sometimes for testosterone as well. So there's some hormonal impact here that it can have with regards to your diet and how that can influence weight loss. So you can see how these things all build together.
Yeah.
A healthy weight loss, a healthy diet, and they all sort of contribute to each other. And the sum is bigger than its constituent parts.
That's so helpful. And I think it's great to have an awareness of this because, as you say, men's health and men's confidence is just we're not talking about it as much as women.
Yeah, sure. And I think men actually need an opportunity to hear it. I think men prefer to hear about it than talk about it, I think, because I think men often underestimate that other men are struggling with the same sort of stuff. So we need a forum where men can understand, oh, crikey, I'm not the only guy who's struggling with this. I'm not the only person who's going through these troubles or concerns, but there's no way I'm talking to my mates about it. And I would encourage them to do so, of course, but it's not really in their nature sometimes to do it. I'm not tarring everybody with the same brush, obviously, but it tends to be less of a thing that men tend to do. So I'd encourage men to sort of try and reach out and listen and learn about this stuff a bit more and to realise that there are things you can do to improve things. And as we keep saying, taking small steps can make huge outcomes.
Excellent. Well, thank you, David. You've been a wealth of information. And I know, look, this topic is a tricky one to talk to your partner about. And also, as you were saying, like with your mates, it's not a usual topic at the pub, really. We're much happier talking about football than we are talking about erectile dysfunction. But I think we've all learnt something and it's good for us all to learn. Weight Loss 360 is a fresh air production with Boots Online Doctor. The producer is Ollie Seymour. Thanks for listening, everyone. We're here to cheer you on, so remember to follow Weight Loss 360 wherever you listen to your podcasts. Make sure you also check out Boots Online Doctor Weight Loss Service for a whole load of other amazing advice and free resources, including a weekly live webinar where our experts can answer your questions. The information shared here is evidence-based to help you achieve and maintain weight loss. However, if you have any health concerns or questions, please consult your GP before making any changes to your lifestyle or diet. Remember, every small change is a big step towards a healthier, happier you.